Welcome back to First Look, the show where we give you just a taste of something new coming out in the board game industry. Today we're going to talk about trains, and you'll see here a variety of train games set out in front of me. Ticket to Ride is historically one of the most famous train games, and it is the train game that opened up the doors of gaming to a lot of people, myself included. This was one of the first real hobby games or kind of gateway games that brought me into the hobby. And that's why I was excited to do this first look today. Now these trains can be used with any train game out here. You can use it as worker tokens, you can use it on your player boards, or you can use it as an actual tin like you'd find in the Ticket to Ride special editions. Now I have one in front of me, and this is a tin of the Mercury. This was an actual train that they've chosen to model their molds after, and you'll see some on display here. It's going to come with enough trains for any of your games. There are 48 plastic molds in each of these tins and a custom score marker for every color. And like I said, the Mercury is one of them, the one I have here in front of me, that was modeled after an actual train. A lot of the others that are coming out, and there are 4 other sets, are all going to take inspiration from famous trains, albeit fictional ones, or real trains. And you're going to get to take a look at those trains right now. The Hornet is based on the 1950s diesel train that were meant to encourage people to give up their cars and start taking the trains again. These have an almost Norman Rockwell style that mimics that which was popular in the 1950s. Then you have the Midnight Express, which was modeled after the 19th century steam engines that most people still think about when they think about trains. The design was inspired by the ads that you usually found being run by these train companies back in the 19th century. And that brings us to the General, which was inspired by the Soviet steam locomotives that were designed in the 40s and 50s. If you notice here, the artwork is meant to invoke the idea of the Soviet propaganda that was being spread out through that time period. And lastly, you'll see Sunset. And this train is obviously inspired by trains that you'll see on the train tracks today. This is the most modern of all the trains, and as you can see from the artwork, it is inspired by the United States National Parks. And so that brings us to 5 total sets of trains. All of these train sets are going to be available on Kickstarter. I don't know if there's anything else planned. Each one of these train sets is going to come in its own tin. It's going to come fully colored as well, so that's something to look forward to. Now, if you're a fan of train games like Ticket to Ride or Ride the Rails or Irish Gauge or any 18XX style game that uses a lot of different trains, you definitely want to take a look at this Kickstarter page. So that was just kind of a first look at what these cool new train models are going to look like, and I think that this is a must-have for any train collector. It's time to upgrade your games. So take a look at these components when this project launches on Kickstarter, and as always, thank you for watching us here at First Look, and I will see you next time.
Congratulations, you got to the end of one of our videos. Now, if you want more practice, just click on the video over here. It's another video. You might not have seen it yet, so click on it. If you don't want to do that, at least click on the subscription button below. That always helps us. And if you want notifications, please ring that bell.